of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Good evening, every single one of you out there right now. If you're watching live, big up to you. If you're watching on playback, big up to you as well. But if you're watching on playback, it's almost game time. I would assume you'd be watching this probably before kickoff, because less than 24 hours, we will know the definitive result, which I'm curious to get everyone's predictions, but we'll get to that at the end of the show. It is episode 150 of the Untitled series, also known as the Immaculate series. And immaculate indeed it is, because I have lined up, I'm going to say a fan favorite. I'm going to say one of the GOATs. When you look at, on a broad spectrum, you know, content creators, whether they have channels or not, content creators who you just, when you see, it makes you smile, it makes you believe, it makes you feel good. And no, it is not Paul, the Hotspur hippie. We had his video on last show, but for 150, I brought you somebody special. Now, he's not a stranger to the channel. He just ain't been on in quite some time. So I'm not going to waste any time before I bring on the one and only Hove. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm tired, but I'm well, thank you.
Hey man, welcome. You got a new little setup. You look new. You getting settled into the new place like a old foot in a shoe or what?
Not really uncomfortable at the moment. I'm sleeping on the couch because there's I've had to move so many rooms around and decorate and painting and everything. So my front room looks like I've only just moved in.
Are you painting a mural of Sonny? Is that what you're painting when you mean painting?
Of course, it goes next to the one of Jacob and Bobby K.
Oh, nice. Oh, I can't wait to see that one. Me and Bobby K. What an astute group of fine gentlemen to be with Bobby K, Youngman's son, and maybe even Ainge holding up a trophy. You know, maybe not one of the trophies we'd hope. Real quick, off the top, let me ask you, Kuva, can we still win the league? Is it possible?
Oh, it's possible, yeah. We just,
I mean, we got 0.1% chance. That's what Opta said. Opta said exactly. 0.1% chance. Would you give us more? Right. Do you think that's fair?
No, it's probably about right at the moment. I think if we were just chasing, say, Liverpool, and there was nobody else in it at all, I'd give us a higher chance. But when you see Liverpool starting to hit stupid amounts of goals in, yeah, they lost to Arsenal, but I mean, you know, they're going to have an occasional hiccup, but they're generally finding their form, scoring loads of goals, creating loads of chances, and starting to look really good again. And they see City are picking up again. They've not hit top form, but they are putting those wins together again. And when you see them both doing that, it's kind of difficult to see us really going to overtake both of them.
I mean, both of those clubs, City and Liverpool, they ain't beat us. Yeah. City and Liverpool ain't beat us, Kuva.
Yeah, but they don't play us every week, do they? That's the trouble.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. But to say that we can't do what they're doing, if they can't do what they're doing to us, who's to say we can't do what they're doing to others?
Well, that will be new territory for us, won't it? Because we just haven't been doing it for decades. So that's where the slim chance is. It could happen, but I think it's looking less likely all the time. But what can you do? You've just got to keep winning and see what happens, haven't you? That's the way to play football. You keep going till the final whistle and see what you can get. And if it's good enough, it's good enough. If you fall short, at least you can say you've done your best. That's what you should be aiming at. And I think we just got to finish the season strongly. I think securing a top 4 place and just getting ourselves, you know, staying in touch with the leaders till the end, last few games of the season, that'll be a pretty damn good effort, I think. In the meantime, if we are in that sort of nibbling distance, you just never know, do you? Crazy
Hey,
things can happen.
I'm not saying we're sitting at the table where the food is being served, but I'm saying the restaurant's big enough that if others are allowed in, I think that we for sure are allowed inside. Not necessarily where the big fiesta is going to be happening, but we're not far away. We're not where a Chelsea is. We're not, some may say, I've been hearing today, some were saying we're closer to Manchester United than we are to the top. Manchester United are 6 points away from us. And I believe Liverpool's 5. Or are they 6
No,
as well?
I think they're 7 points ahead, Liverpool.
Oh, well, then I guess that does make them correct in that
is
sense.
true, but,
that we mathematically are close. That doesn't feel good saying that, though, Kuva.
That's just how good Liverpool have been in the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, 2 of those losses at the only 2 Premier League losses, Kuva, they did just lose to Arsenal, which they looked like complete buffoons. Allison, Van Dijk, they were hugging. What was that? I don't know what that was. The immaculate hug. 3 of those 4 goals. Like I said this, and people lost their damn minds. I said 3 out of the 4 goals scored on that day were giveaways from the other team, and one of them was Liverpool getting gifted a goal. 2 of them were Arsenal getting it, and one of their goals was well taken. And I thought that I did actually see that match versus Liverpool. I did see, I guess, what the hype is around Declan Rice. I thought that was the one time I've watched him and been like, okay, he actually is, you could argue, the best player on that pitch on that day. So, to me, I'm not saying that they've gained any amount of respect based on what they've done, but I don't think Liverpool all that. I think that game told me more about Liverpool than it did about Arsenal. If I'm honest, like this, I think Liverpool, I view Mohamed Salah was out, Mohamed Salah-less Liverpool does look a little bit different, whenever the Egyptian magician's out there. But Kuva, did you see the Arsenal Liverpool game?
Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, gotta say Arsenal look good.
They just look better than the other side. That's it. I didn't think they looked good, and I'm being objective. I'm trying to be as objective as possible, Kuva.
I'm pretty good when it comes to taking the rose tinted goggles off when I'm being serious about making points. And I just think Arsenal just look that little bit more balanced. They've got a little bit more steel in the team than Liverpool have. Liverpool are amazing when they're on all-out attack and they're just camped in the opposition's half, flying forward constantly. When they're put under pressure, they can crack. We've seen it a few times, and teams get at them. But generally speaking, they don't allow that to happen because they are on the front foot the whole time. So I think Arsenal have kind of got over their blip, haven't they? They've got over their run of games where they couldn't score. They're finding their feet again. The goals are starting to come, and they're still looking pretty good at the back. So they've kind of worked their way into the equation as well. But again, I see them as outsiders. I think this is entirely City or Liverpool race again. It didn't look like it was going to be that way earlier in the season, but this was always a likely outcome. They're going to find their feet again. My gut feeling is Klopp is going to have a farewell title party. I just think that's going to be a sort of fitting way for him to go for Liverpool fans anyway. Doesn't matter what we think of him. We can say an awful lot of bad things about him and laugh at him, but at the end of the day, he's been a fantastic coach for them and for the Premier League as well. So it's going to be a big change for them. I think it's kind of right that they go off with a bit of a bang. I think the same when Pep finally goes from City. He's just got to go out with a few trophies and then just farewell, done his thing. So let's have it'll be the turn for somebody else then. How about Big Ange? That'll be one. Yeah.
I like the theory that Klopp got a taste of Ange Postecoglou and said, you know what? I'm good here, y'all. I'm good. Sometimes when you get in that boxing ring, you take one of them left hooks. You're like, wait a second. I didn't know you had a left like that. That kind of hurt. I'm going to run with that theory personally because I like it.
You're bringing back painful memories here. That's what stopped my boxing career at the end of the day. I thought I was great. I I was really because I was quite short, quite lightweight, but I could hit fairly hard and move well. But somebody finally landed one flush on my nose, and I just thought, you know what, I don't like this. So,
Yeah, it was about a few fights in. The first few fights I didn't feel anything. Just because the adrenaline's pumped. But once you start like trying to get into like, okay, let's technically do this. Let's not just go in there like, if I can find an opening, I'm gonna punch him. Like this, and you start really being technical with it. Then you start getting punched in the face while you're thinking. That's what I didn't like. It's fine getting punched in the face whenever you're just blind rage, adrenaline, just all running. But when it's like you're okay, this guy's he's kind of stepping outside, he's moving to his southpaw. Boom! I was like, oh damn, hang on. I was like, it just all felt rushed, and I didn't like it. That's why
wasn't it the great Iron Mike Tyson that said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face?
Yeah, that's true. But see, Mike Tyson is one of the individuals who can get away with that kind of a game plan. Me, however, not quite the same gravy. But real quick, I could talk about boxing for a while. Boxing is trying to make a comeback, and I'm quite disappointed with the state of it. But we're not going to go there tonight. But Catman Jess, good to see.
I could talk all night about boxing all the way back to early '80s.
Well, I just remember when I was a kid, it was just Mike Tyson. Everything was Mike Tyson when I was growing up in the '90s. And then he bit the dude's ear off, and then everyone was like, bite his ears, and then that became a whole thing amongst the kids. So that's what I remember most. But big up Catman Jess. Haven't seen you in a long time, but a long time of being a member for 6 months. Is big up Jacob and Kuva. We will get our revenge. Kuva, I do have a little bit of a video. I shared it before, but this is really the mood I'm trying to take into tomorrow. So Catman Jess, this is for you. I don't think you were here yesterday when I debuted this video, but this is really the Kuva, this is what I expect from you as well. Just really don't let them think they got it, and then it's fuck you. That's the vibe that I'm trying to take into tomorrow. And I almost titled this video "Fuck Seagulls," but then I was like, YouTube probably won't like that. And then I was like, what if I did F***CK Seagulls? And I was like, YouTube probably won't like that either. What's your attitude going into tomorrow?
I like the video, but I can't help but think it would have been improved instead of having that sort of corn on the cob being held out or whatever it was. Was it? It was some corn, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was like bread or something.
Whatever it was. Anyway, it would have been improved if it was a pump action, just right, it's a shotgun on that, and it's just taking them out one at a time. There's just blood and feathers going everywhere. That'll be fine. Because I can't stand seagulls either.
Kuva, I gotta ask you, can you see the I can see the comments here on YouTube, but on my StreamYard side, whenever I clicked over to start, it only shows this comment, and then I click live and there's nothing. It's just white.
Ooh, okay.
So I can't pull up any comments.
Well, I can't help you there.
Okay. Well, there we are. Maybe I'll try going back. So I apologize. I can't pull up any comments, but I see everybody in the house. What's up? I see Tom Martin. Big up Catman Jess, Scott M, Bobby K. Big up Bobby K. Key Bike, Future Music. I see Nate Pie. Big up Nate Pie. Dropping the Amazon link in there. That is a good reminder for me as well. I need to put it in the description of this video. My wife and I are having a baby, in case you didn't know. But if you tune into this channel frequently, you know. Because at this point, I'm kind of like that annoying parent that's like, hey, y'all, we're having a baby. But also, if you don't want if you want to help us without Google getting their little fingers on it, shout out Google, shout out YouTube if you're listening. There's a registry on Amazon. There's a diaper fund. You could put $1, you could put $2 in there for a diaper. So really anything works. And then there's stuff that my wife picked out, and I haven't looked at what she actually put in there. And that's actually bad on my part, because as a husband, I should be involved in these situations. But nonetheless, we move. But big up Catman Jess, member for 6 months, and I apologize. I'm clicking over live again, and it's still white. So big up to everybody in the house. Sorry I can't pull up any comments, but I'll see it. The only thing I can see is the starred section, which it's auto stars like member chats. So that's why I can pull that one up. But Kuva, my friend, last time we played Brighton wasn't great. Do you remember? Do you remember?
I remember very well.
Alejo Veliz got his first Premier League goal. Do you remember that? Let me start with that.
I do remember that.
Let's start with that. Yeah.
Then it went a bit bad for him after that. Yeah, we were played off the park by Brighton, let's face it. The only reason we really got back into the game, you'd argue, is because they made a lot of substitutions. And so their second string wasn't good enough. But they'd already got the job done at that point. It was quite an enjoyable end to the game, though. When we went at them, when our second goal went in, I was genuinely thinking, you know what? We could get at least a point out of this now. Even though there was very few minutes left, we were just on such a roll at that point. So it was kind of a mad game. We'd thrown it away, gone 4-0 down, and then still managed to find a way of playing and a way of attacking the opposition that gave us a chance to get something out of it. It was odd. So I'm kind of expecting more of the same in this game, just a continuation, just going at each other. It's passing and attacking is what the ethos of both the teams is. Certainly the managers, Brighton are just better at it than us at the moment, and on a more consistent basis. You'd argue that we just have some quality players in our team, and when they turn it on and they turn up for the game, playing really well, we can put the opposition away. We do that with some of the big teams as well as some of the lower half teams. Brighton, though, how can you predict what they're going to do? They can beat the team at the top of the table 5-0, then lose 5-0 to the bottom place team. They're so unpredictable. Definitely never make a bet on Brighton. Other than that, it's going to be goals, really. That seems to be the only one that's consistent. Yeah, so what am I expecting? I just want some revenge. Let's even it up. So I'm going for my 7-3 as usual. Nice. Get that out straight away.
Wow, really just opened the cupboards up and said, have a way with that one. I like it, but I will ask for it again because I'm sure I will forget it at some point. But this is how we lined up last time versus when we played them at the American Express Stadium, might I add. They call it the Amex. That's just because they don't want you to know, but it's called the American Express. American. So to me, they've also got shirts that say American on it as well. So they're fraudulent in the sense that they play in the English Premier League. If they love America so much, why don't you marry it, is what I would say. But I don't mean to digress. This is not the players' problem, right? American Express is their big sponsor. But again, Brighton and America up in a tree, KISSING is what I want to say secondly. And then thirdly, Kuva, Emerson Royale, Ben Davies as our center backs. That's not going to be the case tomorrow. We've got, I'm going to say it now. Look, Romero has been declared by Lionel Messi as the best defender in the world. And then per Christian Romero, he has referred to Mickey Van de Veen as arguably the best center back in the Premier League. So I'm going to say this, Kuva, and I want to know what your thoughts are about this. We have not only the best center half in the world, but also the best one in the league.
Well, if he's the best in the world, of course he's the best in the league.
Well, we've got both of them.
Yeah, I see what you mean. What, you know what? What the hell? Let's go for it. Let's just say that because it's biased, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't care how it sounds. I'm taking it.
I mean, you've got to look at players like Diaz at Man City and Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool and just say they are right up there. Saliba's also a really good centre back.
I don't know if you saw Saliba get bodied by the second smallest winger in the league in Luis Diaz.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's still comedy moments, isn't there? He's no Mickey Van der Ven, is he?
Oh, hey! I didn't say it, but I'll say it.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I'm seeing at the moment with our team. With both wing backs and centre backs, and Big Vic at the back. I think that's a solid base to go forward with. I think the introduction of bit of fresh blood in the centre backs positions, and a few more versatile players that can cover the full backs for next season. I think we won't have those sort of drop off moments where a couple of people are missing and it all goes to Ben Davis and Emerson Royale as backup centre backs. Won't be the need for it anymore. We're getting quality. Just need to keep on playing, get regular game time, and just keep playing the style of football we're supposed to be playing, and it will improve. And I'm more worried about the forward line, if I'm honest. I think we're pretty tame on both flanks. Even Kulusevski's kind of off form now as well, and he was doing okay earlier in the season, but don't really see him on fire now. Massive plus with Maddison back though. That's a huge one as well. Of course, we're missing so many that previous game against them. I mean, it's painful to actually look at the team sheet in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty
Johnson,
tough.
Timo Werner, are they setting the world on fire? I don't think so.
Timo Werner's got just as many Premier League assists as forwards who've been playing since the beginning of the damn season.
What shows how well they've been doing.
Well, I see. Here's the thing, Kuva. I like to roam in the forest, grab whatever stick I can, and as long as it can get a good something out of it, I'm using it and I'm swinging. And Timo Werner, while not the most illustrious, what we might not think is the most glorious, mouth-frothing 6-month loan option, 2 assists, could arguably have had 3 in 2 Premier League matches. That's not the worst. If he could do that every game, I'd be all right with this. You know what I mean? This kind of what I said at the beginning whenever we did this bit of business was if he can just come in and supplement. I don't need individual brilliance from Timo Werner. We don't call for that in this system. We just need him to do his part. Do your job. And the rest of us can flourish. You know what I mean? Like, to make a big boat run, you need not just the captain, not just his co-pilot and shipmate. You need all the people in there sweeping the coals into the ovens like they did in Titanic. I don't know if that's really how they do it on the big ships, but they had all the boys down there, scooping and scooping.
I'm pretty sure they don't now. Yeah. Can you imagine that?
For the metaphor, let's say that they do. But my point stands. I just need Timo Werner to go get in there, scoop some of that coal into the damn hot, greasy oven, and help the boat go, and let the others be the face. He just needs to supplement, and I think he's done that beautifully. Brennan Johnson, I think, suffers from: am I a coal miner shoveler, or am I like the guy? And I think he needs to figure that out. Maybe that little cameo on the bench helped him figure that out. Talk to me about Brennan Johnson. Where are you kind of at? Real quick, big ups to Poor using his 5-month member chat.
To go with your analogy, I think Brennan Johnson is still on the dock with his suitcase and holding a ticket in his hand, watching the ship sail off.
He's the dude that lost his ticket to Leo DiCaprio at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's face it, he's just not been good. I'm not going to get on his back too much because he is young. It's a culture shock from him as well, coming from being apparently what's very much a mummy's boy, and then big lights, big city, bright lights, big city in London, spotlight on him, huge fee which isn't his own doing. So there's a lot of pressure on him, and he seems to have frozen in the headlights like a deer. Feel a little bit sorry for him, but there's time. He can turn it around, but so far I can't say he's been good because he hasn't. That's as simple as it is. So he's perhaps one of these players you just need to put your arm around and say, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Going to be all right. Sit on the bench. And that's exactly what Ainge did. And I love that about Ainge. He says, you know what? Sometimes when you got them... never mind. I'm not going to make I was going to make an RC car metaphor, but you know what? We'll stop there before I get too entangled in my own metaphors. Big up Zapur being a member for 5 months. Yo, members who've hit close to that 6 month or on the 6 month, I've updated the badges. So you have more options of badges as you reach the milestones, as you continue to support the channel. That's something small that YouTube allows to integrate into this, so I try to take advantage of that. But big up Zapur, member for 5 months. Also, my Discord moderator, so he's part of the United Spurs of America family. Big up. Says, hello, is this thing on? Tap, come on, you Spurs. Again, I've been trying to go back and forth, and under the live, there's just nothing. It's all white, so I apologize. All I can see are the star one, and the only things apparently started mem chats, and I apologize. I do see y'all in the chat though. I have a little tab open, so I see y'all in the chat. I see Joseph Loves Football says Kuti, big up, little Kuti fan there.
And he's calling you a fraud as well.
Well, you know, that comes with the territory, but sometimes,
absolutely,
you know what they say, the wind blows strongest at the top of the mountain, so keep on helping the wind blow, my friend, is what I would say. Castro also says, yo, Jacob, how's your dog? What's his name? His name is Chewy. It's short for Jesus, so it's Chuy. And Jacob, can I get a free membership? I have no control over who gets memberships. I can't hand them out like candy to selected. Sometimes people get gifted, and when they are gifted, it is at random. But big up everybody in the chat. I see Ash P is here. Big up to Ash P. Tottenham. That's a cool name. Big up. Paul Tucknot. That's a great. That's a fantastic name. Paul Tucknot. Look, such a great name. Anyway, another thing I was thinking about, this midfield. I see Højbjerg, I see Kulu at the 10, and Papa Matasar. Now, do you think we'll see one of those three? Do you think we'll see two of those three?
Matasar's, if Matasar's fit, he's got to start. I think he's that important to the team now. He's very much the glue. He's the holding the two halves of the team together. He's literally the box-to-box player in the league at the moment, I think. You got some in specialised positions, but he is just covering every blade of grass, every game, runs his socks off. He's always there to be passed to. He's always there to help teammates out. He's got an eye for a pass. He's trying a few more adventurous ones. Some of them go astray at times, but he's actually having a go at it. I think Ange likes that. I don't think he minds his players making a mistake when they're trying to make something happen, trying to really create something. So I prefer to see that kind of attitude, trying to thread a few killer balls through at the expense of losing it a few times. That's okay. That's what he's supposed to do when you're on the attack. So I think he's got to start. I think Bentancur has to keep playing. We need to play him back into form. He came back very strongly to start with, didn't he? And then perhaps the long injury layoff started taking its toll a bit.
That's kind of what I was wondering, and that is a subject I do want to emphasize on, because I was naturally waiting for you to meander onto that side of the swamps so you can get a taste of this gator. But Postecoglou did speak on Bentancur, he did speak on Bissouma, he did speak on the midfield situation, because with a full squadron, it does make things a little, I would say, intriguing, because it presents a very good problem that I don't think we've had for quite some time, which is a slew of midfielders whom A, are healthy, B, you could see any of them coming on an impact. I think Papa Matasar and James Maddison are locked too, but the third option there is really where the situation gets a little swampy. The waters get a little murky, if you know what I mean. They're getting a little mossy on this side of the rock. Is Bissouma the number one choice? Is Bentancur the number one choice? Do we need a Højbjerg in there, a decaf Declan Rice? What do you think? I have some quotes that I do want to read from Postecoglou. Do you want to hear from Postecoglou first, or would you like to? All right, well, we'll go ahead and share this tab. Postecoglou on whether he sees Bentancur as a number 6 or an 8 with the return of Bissouma. He says, quote, I see him as a midfielder who can play for us, and hopefully we're getting away from 6s and 8s. And I thought that was kind of interesting because we sit up here, and by we, I mean me and other people who have a channel. We're like, I see Basuma as kind of this box-to-box. Yeah, really stick in there and get us a 6 if he needs to. And Bob Montessar has already been playing, kind of the same role. And to me, he's kind of saying to all that, shut up, is what it sounds like to me. Hopefully we could get away from all this. Let's just say he can play in the midfield and that he can play well in the midfield for us. And I kind of like this very simple answer in regards to where he sees Bentancur fitting in. But there's another post here. Oh, I'm giving away the gravy. There it is. So he brought up on the options of having Basuma and Bentancur both available and what that gives him. He says, quote, yeah, I took... he said, yes, look, at least there's a possibility now. Basuma started the season really well, and then he had some disruptions, some on his own doing. I want to emphasize that. He said Basuma started the season really well, and I agree. Those first 8, 9 Luton is where the wheels fell off of the Basuma wagon. But he says he started well, really well, which I agree. Then he had some disruptions. And what those disruptions might be, you ask? He'll tell you. Some of his own doing. Rodrigo came back, then he got injured, then Rodrigo was up and running, Basuma and Pape left. So it's not just about those two, but about the midfield mix. Maddison has been out, and we just got Matters back. We haven't had the luxury of being able to come up with different variations of our midfield setup because they are all unique in their skill set. And I think this gives us a real ability to tackle the different challenges along the way. We've had Pierre in there and Skippy as well. And honestly, the further away we get from that, the better I think we'll be in the midfield, because a lot of times we get overrun in this midfield since all the bad boys have been out. We've been getting... I'll pause here. Kuva, what have you thought about our midfield while, he says we've had Pierre in there and Skippy as well. To me, that sounds like, look at what we've been getting in midfield, and it's not been a great. It's had moments of Skip finding a good ball to Werner, but that's about it. What have you thought of our midfield while, our trio? Because, if you think about it, the first 10 games, we went undefeated. I had no problems with our midfield. I thought Bentancur would come in and maybe challenge Sarr. And then Basuma started falling off, but Sarr was gone at that time. And then, because I think he picked up an injury, and then Basuma fell off, and then Sarr, and then it was just like, since that moment, everything's been shifting and changing. Then Maddison got injured, then we were moving Kulu in there. And so everything has just kind of been really fluid and changing. But really, since the wheels fell off, what have you thought of our general midfield play? Because for me, in the most part, I think we've been overrun in almost all the matches. While we have chances of brilliant ball play and build-up, when we have those little passing triangles, when we're building out of the back and the left and the right, different sides, when you have Udogi and Pedro Porro inverting, that has helped. But from the most part, in the midfield sense, I feel like we've been overrun defensively. What do you think in regards to our midfield, since really everything's kind of been tossed in the air?
Well, I think the clue there is when he's saying about that everybody's with a unique skill set. And when that happens and you are forced into changes, you do not get the same results as you would with the balanced squad that you had in the first place, where everybody's fit and you choose the ones you want. So for the likes of Basuma to go missing, if he's replaced with Hove doesn't have the strength or mobility of Basuma, nowhere near. You could say that Basuma's discipline let him down, which it did, of course, when he got himself sent off. But other than that, he's a different animal to Hove. So when you're forced into some of these changes, it isn't going to work out. You just can't make it work out, not unless you've got identical players. And that's not going to happen. I think it's interesting that he puts, he mentions Højbjerg and Pierre and Skippy at the end, because to me it's kind of, that's an afterthought. That's they're the sort of optional extras at the end. He's looking at the four people ahead of him, like Madders and Basuma and Bentancur and Sarr. They are the mainstay, I think. They're the ones that are going to be going into the future of this club. I'm not sure about the other two at all. So I think when you are in that position where it's constantly changing, it's very difficult to get understandings between players. It seems like, you'd say, oh well, they get a week to train, so it should be all right by the match day. But match day situation is very much different. So you need time to settle in. You need time to work out an understanding with other players around you. And if it's constantly changed, it's very difficult. Now, what I'm waiting to see is, longing to see again, is with Sonny back in the team, Madder's back in the team, because look at the understanding they were getting earlier in the season. There was some really good, intricate little passing moves and everything. They're just like playing on another level to a lot of the other players, thinking one step ahead. We look so much better for it. Richarlison's improving, so we've got these improvements and players coming back to help with it all. But in the end of the day, we want to see that consistency in who's going to be playing where. For me, Bissouma's probably the one that should start just ahead of the defence at the moment, despite his drop in form. I still think you've got to play him back into form. That starting head to the season, I think people forget how good he was then. He was absolutely sensational, and I think we've been missing something since he's lost that little bit of form. Bentancur, we can take our time with him. He's going to ease himself back in. He'll get plenty of game time. We don't need to run the life out of him at the moment. Let's just see how things go now, because we do have these options cropping up now, and I think that Maddison, Sarr, Bissouma, and then Bentancur into the mix. That's the four you're going to work around. The other two are just fillers for the moment for me. It sounds harsh. I mean, I know Skippy's, obviously loves to fight his heart out, but for me, he's just
great, and I'm sure he's not going to have trouble finding work. I'll put it that way. But he's not good enough for me. I don't think he's good enough for what when I say for me, I put that in perspective of, as Tottenham, I would be viewing this like he's not good enough for the level we're trying to aspire for. I think he would do well for Nottingham Forest. They would love a Skippy work rate. The way that they play, they would absolutely love the way that he plays. I saw where was it? I saw Sir Mo Lester says his son going to be in the squad, asking for my FPL. I think he absolutely is going to be in the squad. When you looked at the quotes coming out from Postecoglou in regards to letting him train, he said the first thing he said was, "I want to play." That's the first thing he said. Let me train and I want to play. I would assume he would be fit and ready to go if they had made the final. And the final, to my knowledge, is this weekend, which would make sense that he would be fit. Now, the only thing is I don't know if he's going to start, but he is going to play. I would assume at least 30 minutes. But as far as starting,
Surely he starts.
To me, I was thinking about this. Like, if we were, I think back to those first 10 matches we were undefeated. I would go with our ideal 11 in the first matches that we had, which was Son as the striker. And this may sound harsh to Richarlison, but indulge me here for a second, Kuva. I was thinking, bench Richarlison, put Timo Werner, Kulusevski as our wingers, Son through the middle, and then Maddison, Bissouma, Sarr, and then the back four, back five of who we already know. Now, to me, that is the strongest 11 that we had before all the injuries, suspensions, tournaments, etc. What do you think? Should we go with our strongest? Well, I guess in my opinion, what our strongest 11 was, or do you think that Richarlison's run of form has lended him to maybe deserving of a start? Because 9 and 8 games, hard to argue with.
Yeah, it's a tough call, isn't it? Just for a change, it's actually nice that Richarlison's been playing well enough to think we can't really drop him at the moment, or can we? Because it is Sonny coming back. Perhaps that is the way. Start Richarlison. Perhaps Sonny is the one that comes on for him after half an hour or something, after 60 minutes or so, and gives him last half hour. Sonny perhaps might go shift out to the left again as well. That is also an option. Do we see Timo get moved over to the right? Who knows? There's a few little things I don't think anybody can say for certain what's going to happen right now. And it's partly due to talent, it's partly due to fitness levels and people returning from tournaments. So let's see how it goes. There are options, which is a good thing. Might even see Sonny and Richarlison up front together as a duo. That is another possibility. Are we going to adapt some of the little things we have been doing? Perhaps we'll see the fullbacks wing backs going a little bit more overlapping than they have been to make up for the width, and then just play two up front. There's possibilities. I think the overall style of play is what Ange is about. It's not a rigid formation. So horses for courses. See who's fit and raring to go on the training pitch, and I trust Ange to do what he does best. Pick the team.
Yeah, the general chat's saying you don't drop an informed number 9. If your 9's in form, you ride that out until he's not in form. Some people have said that this is a purple patch by Richarlison.
Yeah, well,
I see another comment says their surgery revived Richie. Again, apologies, I can't pull up anyone's comments right now. The only comments I can see are the starred section, and that's only like different chats. So I do apologize, but I can't pull up any chats. Like I see Sam, he's an absolute fraud. Says there you are with the cringe thumbnail. Sun fraud min is back. There you are, is what I would say. And if you ever call my goat that again, I'm just going to have to play this clip, and it's mandatory.
And the donkey's like, that's the donkey. You're a donkey.
That's the donkey. Congratulations to Jordan as well. I hope you get those tickets, my friend. I think they made history. First time ever making it to a final, so big up. But look, is this a purple patch by Richie, or is he good to go? Can he get us 20, 25 goals this season? I don't think so. But
it's a purple patch for me because in his career he's never been prolific. That's as simple as it is. I think though his use for the team is more than just bundling the ball in, and that if he's continuing to grow in terms of holding the ball up and bringing others into play, which I think he's been getting better at. He's still useful. He needs to have that physical presence up front. We lack that when Sonny's playing. We do need that big fella occasionally gets into the box, prepared to go in for the challenge for headers and things. Sonny is not that kind of player. Sonny's a finesse player. Richarlison's more sort of rough and tumble, isn't he? I've never really rated Richarlison highly, but he can have his uses, and at the moment, since he is on a purple patch, he's worth his place. It's an interesting choice. Personally, I wouldn't drop him. I would find a way to bring Sonny in alongside him if necessary. But Sonny is the captain though, and let's face it, he has proved himself over years and years with us. So
yeah,
I know which one I favour in the long term.
What do we do? I'm looking down and I'm seeing the comments. Some say this ain't a purple patch. Mom, it's not a phase, is what they're saying. I don't know. I kind of see what you're saying. Like he's never been prolific in his entire career. Son has, but Richarlison hasn't. Maybe benching him takes away from any chance of him building up to be that. I don't know. I want to believe that there's something in there more, but like, those 2 goals versus Everton were very well taken goals. I take the piss out of some of the goals he has scored because it's just him getting into good positions and doing as the formula lends him to do, right? If you're just a striker getting in the correct positions, you're going to be able to finish those. But Everton goals, those weren't easy, simple finishes. Those were slightly cheeky, I might add. Out the box, I don't think he scored a goal like that for Tottenham in his entire career. And outside the box shot, I haven't seen it. So it might be foolish to drop him, so to speak, or to not find a way. So maybe Son on the right. What are we thinking, Kuva, for this front 3? Someone's got to get benched.
Personally, I would put Sonny in on the left, keep Richie in the middle.
Who's on the right?
Right wing Kulusevski still. I still think that's our best front 3 at the moment.
Okay, so Werner and Brennan Johnson as these super subs to just
Yeah.
run.
just stretch the game when they could come on later. Yeah.
I guess I could see a world where they like one of them comes on for Richarlison, then we move Son centrally. Because if you bring on Werner and Brennan Johnson, that doesn't necessarily scream they're going to go get you a goal. It just screams they're going to run. They're about to fucking run.
You've just said it. There's options now. You can shift Sonny to the centre, can't you? Yeah. There's all those sorts of things. Or if need be, the reverse. You can take Richie off and or take Sonny off, put Richie out left, and one of them through the middle, like Brennan Johnson or something. Just when if you're up against it, looking to play a bit of breakaway football, play on the counter at times because you're getting pushed back all the time. You need some fast players on doing that, but it's options. So it's not great options, but there's different things you can do now. We didn't have those options at all earlier.
I would say definitely not the greatest, but what is the greatest is I see there's over 120 people watching across all three platforms. So big up to everyone who is watching right now. Do me a favor. Make sure you are partaking in the poll. Make sure you are getting your comments at least seen and in the chat. So that way I know where you stand. And I just refreshed and we're only on 42 likes and there's 96 votes. 50 people, over 50 people, Kuva, have voted in the poll, but they haven't liked the video. And I don't know what we did to hurt your feelings. I don't know why you're so upset. What I need you to do, you know what? I'm not going to play this video because I was going to play a video, Kuva. Some people don't like it. It's the guy and the bees, the beehive, the video with the guy at the beehive. I was going to say, I want you to do what this man does to the bees. I need y'all to do that to the like button. But you know what? I'm not going to go above and beyond to ask people to like the video. Y'all can like it, you cannot. But if you do like it, know that inside you make me feel like this. Big up Nobbins for that. That's how it feels when you hit the like button, so make sure you do that. And subscribe. We are on the road to 4K, ever so gently arriving at our destination. So big up to everyone who has helped out. Let me see where the poll's at right now. 96 votes. 80% says Tottenham will get revenge on those motherfucking Seagulls. And then 11% says fireworks, goals, and no clue who wins. What does Castro say? Jacob, don't your guy that eats bees eat seagulls too? No video for that. The only video I have with the seagulls is this. This is the one with the seagulls. This is the one with the bees.
Is that who you really wanted? You sure about that?
This is the one with the bees. Seen this, Kuba? You sure about that? Do this to the like button. Boom. So simple.
Dun, 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 dun. There he is, bitch.
Oh, Kuva, you're muted.
Yeah, I was just saying that is really disturbing.
I played that, and a few people were like, "Can you never play that again, please?"
What bothers me most about that is if they're bees. If they're wasps, I'm all for it. That's fine.
They're wasps. They're not bees. They're wasps.
Oh,
but I said it were bees in the spirit of Brentford because I did a Brentford watch along, and we were getting our ass kicked in that first 45. And I was saying, this is what, if I'm Ange Postecoglou, I don't say shit. I just put this up on the big screen, and I say, I need y'all gentlemen to go be like this man and play that video. And we played that video, and guess what? We ended up doing exactly that to the bees. So isn't that quite sweet? Big up to David. David Shear is in the house. How are you doing? Big up Ed M says, what the hell was that? Disturbing is the word I used last time, says the poor. Can't do with that one. It's a very tough video to watch, but you know what? I'm all about strengthening of the mind, the soul, and the body here. So if we can't do that, then what are we doing?
You're just talking as somebody that's watched Jackass too much.
Yeah. No, that's a guy from Florida, is what that is. So Americans from Florida, very, very easy to tell. I didn't even need to know he was from Florida. I was like, as soon as I saw that video, I was like, he's definitely from Florida. You don't get that kind of behavior.
Ben on his coffee shop, the coffee company, always does
the Florida man.
Florida man. Yeah.
Florida man's always up to something. But real quick, big up, David Shear gifting 5 United Spurs of America membership. Again, I can't pull up anyone's chat, so I apologize. I normally pull up everyone's chats. I ain't ducking you. I ain't treating you like the girl that you went on a date with last weekend. I'm not ghosting you. I promise. I see you. I hear you. I just can't pull up anything that ain't starred. But this is starred. David Shear gifting 5 United Spurs of America memberships. And you know what, David? This shit means something to me, if I'm honest.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
This shit means something to me, man. But let me see who got those memberships real quick. Tottenham away supporter, Gio Rea, Nick Brown, Donald Dickinson, and Donovan Ostriker. Honestly, Dickinson is also a fantastic surname. We have what I can't remember his name. It's like Paul Toughnot or some shit, and then Donald Dickinson.
Those sound like sort of 80s style news anchors.
Yeah,
sort of,
I'm Donald Dickinson, and welcome to your news at 9. I can see that. A little real Troy McClure. But big up David Shear, making the family just a little bit bigger. So if you did hear your name get read out for getting one of them them chats, go ahead and say dubs in the chat for David. Big up David, appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah,
and
big up David. He's such a good supporter of so many channels as David.
Yeah, he really does. So big up David every single time. I hope his Friday has been greater than when you open a bag. Like sometimes, this one time, okay, here's a quick anecdote, and this is for David Shear. My wife and I, we were just recently married, and there was these like cheddar bunny cracker things that we would always get, and they're cheesy. And there's like regular cheesy, and then there's the box extra cheesy. Well, we always bought extra cheesy, and one day it was cheesier than any cheese of any. I think there was definitely a fuck up in the factory, and the whole bag was just cheese, and then it was like in there was the little cheddar bunnies. So I feel like my story's point, the reason I brought that up, Kuva, I feel like the reason I brought that up was because David Shear, when he comes around, he's like every time getting a big bag of the extra cheese. So I know that may not make sense. Probably to only American people.
You haven't actually said whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, though.
It's a fantastic, bro. They were so fucking cheesy that I had cheesy enough to last me. So every box after that we bought, pour some extra cheesy. Make the extra cheesy even more cheesy. That's the point of the story. He's making this family of United Spurs of America extra cheesy. That's the point.
Yeah, but does that mean if you got like a pizza and it was just all toppings, that would be good because you could make future pizzas have more topping?
It would be like, yeah. If they just extra everything.
Pizza, you've got no pizza.
Well, you could, like a gold miner, just sift through, and then there's your cheddar bunnies. So there you go.
Okay, we'll go for
Very
that.
nice. Yeah. But big up to all the new chat members. Y'all get a slew of emojis and such. So make sure you are taking advantage of those if you do get those. Hey, big up Dermatron says, going to the game tomorrow. Big up Dermot. I hope you're doing well. First of all, happy belated birthday, because it was his birthday the other day. You don't look a day past 24, my friend. So happy birthday. And then secondly, I hope you're doing well. I know on your birthday you had to, I don't remember if it was like an ankle or something. You had to go and see somebody. But big up Dermatron. Going to the game tomorrow. I hope, first of all, if you see a seagull, Dermot, I need you to A, either punch it, B, choke it, or C, give it the middle finger. And the C option really helps prevent any kind of law being broken. I think you can flip off like pretty easily and get away with it, right?
Yeah,
The UK is pretty cool with you flipping people off.
Yeah, you can't punch seagulls. They're protected.
Can you grab one by the neck and snap its fucking head off?
No, you really can't.
But you can give it the middle finger.
Yeah, it's almost a satisfying.
Can you do what the guy did in the video, which was tantalize and then fuck you? Here, who wants it? Nah, fuck you. Can you do that to the seagulls? Is that protected?
Yeah, you can. You can. I'm pretty sure psychological warfare isn't sort of outlawed. So, yeah, absolutely.
What is it that you're not supposed to feed seagulls? Because then they like it expands in their stomach. Is it bread?
Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's a lot of weird things.
I digress. I'm just so excited to have Kuva back on the show. So I'm forgetting exactly where I'm going with this. But fuck seagulls.
Absolute nonsense already. So.
Big up Dermot though says going to the game tomorrow. Can't wait to see the mighty Tottenham. Big up Kuva. Can you give Jacob your number? As I lost it. Great to see the A team back. And the A team regards. I don't know if he's talking about us or he's talking about Spurs Strong 11, but either way, he's talking to us nicely. And isn't that very sweet? So big up Dermatron for that. And happy belated, my friend. But yeah, I think he's asking if I can give his number to you and you can call, because he lost your number and he wants to. He's asked me this before and I forgot because I'm like this show. Like this show, bro, I'm like a fucking cat. Just what's that shiny jingling thing over there?
All you see is a seagull in one eye and hatred in the other.
Fuck the seagulls. I stand by it. I love animals. I advocate for animals. I'm all for animals. But fuck the seagulls, man.
Yeah.
Legitimately. I never get off. Like, it's on a personal shit. That's on some personal vibe. It's not like, oh, professionally, let me talk nicely to the seagull. No, fuck the seagull. All right. Jacob, thoughts on the blue card? Blue card's not happening. Blue card is no more. What is your real quick? What were your thoughts on it? Mine was just why if you can't do A and B correctly, we're having trouble with just A and B. Why are you adding C and D? Because now it's just gonna fucking make it way worse.
It's more potential options for advertising, isn't it? More breaks, more things. Perhaps I think soon we'll get cards. Your referees will have cards with little adverts on there. Sponsored by. And then VAR as well. It takes so long. You could run a series of adverts on there. Just make every game like the Super Bowl. Even though it's a different sport and it doesn't benefit from these pauses. Things like the Super Bowl, you've got plenty of natural breaks. You can do it. But I think they're just going to start introducing it into this game. Well, it's going to happen. Everything's about money. If they can squeeze a bit more, they'll do it. So blue cards, I think blue cards are absolutely ridiculous. It's just an extra layer of complications on a game that's already being overcomplicated. Bobby and I were talking about it yesterday for a while. Both agreed it's just bullshit. They want to get, if anything, we want to go back to what it used to be. Get rid of half of this technology. Just keep goal line technology. The rest of it, just get back to having good referees. Stop sort of being tied up with red tape and having to strictly adhere to rules that are clearly ridiculous, and people's interpretations of them are terrible anyway. Just get back to having great referees who can use common sense and let the game flow. And I think it will be a much better game to watch for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I saw a comment there from Zapur saying, how does a blue card equal advertisement? I would say in the downtime, we're damn near close to fucking VAR review sponsored by Progressive and it just being a full-blooded fucking timeout. Yeah. And to me, like, I fell out of love with the NFL the day that they started allowing a guy being on the field saying, stop whatever you're doing. We're in a commercial break. Y'all aren't allowed to play. When they allowed that and that became a rule in the NFL, immediately was like, bro, what are we doing here? We're stopping the fucking game for a Progressive ad, for a Dentine Pro V fucking acne creams. What the fuck is going on? And it's only gotten worse since that happened about 20 years ago in the NFL. And I was a fucking teenager and I was like, wow, I remember when I was a kid and there wasn't this many fucking ads. I spend literally half of it's a 3-hour event and an hour and a half of it is advertisements. Tell me why the fuck would I sit there and do that to myself? So that's why as a teenager was like, there's got to be a more fun sport to watch. Basketball, soccer, better it is.
Even your news channels over there are sponsored by bloody pharmaceutical companies and stuff, aren't they? Why? Yeah. It's ridiculous.
They're owned by the same damn company too. So like, of course we're gonna pump this Zantac ad. What's Zantac? Don't worry about the guy speaking quietly. You're gonna get fucking diabetes and your legs are gonna fall off. And it's like they speed it up so you can barely fucking understand what he's saying. It's just like you may experience a fucking headache and your fucking face is gonna fall off and everything's gonna fall off and you're gonna die and your face is gonna melt and your blood's gonna turn fucking purple and you're like, what? What did he just say? But it'll help your headache. Don't you worry. Anyway, I'm delving into murky waters here, but yeah. Man.
I don't know why my brain's suddenly gone to the idea of seagulls being sponsored by Wuhan Labs or something like.
You know what? Again, fuck seagulls because A, they're assholes, and B, I'll never forget what they did to me. You know, it's one of those like I forgive, but I can't ever forget some things. Are you a person you let it go? You're like, seagulls did me wrong, but that was just one seagull among millions of flying rats.
It depends what it is. I think when it comes to football, I tend to hold a grudge for longer than I should do. I think normally I'm very happy-go-lucky. I'll let things go. It's just not worth it. Life's too short. But when it comes to football, I mean, I still hate Perry Groves. Perry Groves is an Arsenal player, bit part Arsenal player from back in the 1980s. And I just took a dislike to him at the time, and it's stayed ever since. It's almost irrational hatred I've got for him. I mean, Paul Merson retired years ago. He's just a pundit nowadays. But I still hate him. Absolutely hate him. Just there's certain images you can't let go of. Judas leaving us. Always going to hate him. I mean, you can rationally argue that it's just a footballer making a living. He can do what he wants. It's not the same when it's football, is it? It's tribalism. You're supposed to have hatred, but it's supposed to be a good footballing sort of way. It's certainly you can detach from the rest of your life, but just go wild when it's match days. I'm all for it.
Again, I just want to reiterate, fuck seagulls. I loved what you said there, but I will never allow myself to be in the same vicinity of seagulls and not be on my guard. All right. Think about when you're mentally drained, physically tired, life-wise, you're like, where am I even going in life? I just need a second to breathe. You order a sandwich and an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, and you're sitting there watching the waves crash, and you're thinking, boy, this fucking sandwich, this Italian meats fucking sandwich that the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys recommended to me. So you go by this pier. I see you're tired, Jacob. Go to this pier, get this fucking this sub sandwich, and it's going to change your life. And I was like, you know what? I need that, coach. Let me go get that. And I'm sitting there, unwrap muffler, take a bite. Oh, yeah, this sandwich may just change my life. And in that very moment, a fucking seagull just scoop, grabs it, snatch right from out of my hands. I felt his floppy, wet, fucking flappy feet fucking touch my fingers. I felt it. And before I could even react, it was gone. Fucking flappy-footed, wet, soggy bastard. And in the ruckus of me like, oh, shit, I knocked over my Dr. Pepper.
Oh, no, that I'm okay with. Because I don't like Dr. Pepper, so that's fine.
Because you never had a Dublin Dr. Pepper. Technically, it wasn't a Dublin, and this was in California, so they don't have the Dublin Dr. Pepper there. But look, the point remains, fuck seagulls for life.
I agree. Seagulls, I mean, it happened to me once, and I had, like, a portion of chips taken, a big part of it. And, you don't want to finish the other half of it when seagulls had its, like, I was going to say paws all over it. But, big flappy feet. But, Yeah, it's disgusting. So I have to just throw them away. And ever since I'll go to the seaside anywhere and I've got a drink and some food, I'm hunched over it like I'm in a prison canteen. It's like you can't enjoy your food. You got to keep them away. They are just absolute nightmare. I agree. We should just stamping them out. There's some species
Or
on this
punch them
planet.
when they're flying by. Just
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I would like to see done.
Baseball bat, tennis racket, anything. Just tennis racket. That'll be satisfying.
I'll be a Batman expert, Kuva. You catch me with a tennis racket, I'll beat. I'll send them up. That's a fun thought there. The feeling, like when you play tennis and you get a real good hit of that ball, like center of the racket, you get a
150
perfect
yards back into the sea.
It's fun to dream. It's fun to dream. I love that.
Yeah, there's some species are meant to go extinct. I think that's one.
I don't even want them to be extinct. Just get the fuck away from me. Anytime they see me, I want the fear of God to be in their eyes. I want them to see, oh shit, that's the guy who's going to take a tennis racket to us. Better not fuck with his sandwich. That's my take.
That's
But anyway,
saying a flock of seagulls, but it's not. It's Club Nouveau.
I don't know what that is.
That's
What's
a joke
Club
very
Nouveau?
few people are going to get unless they're my age, and probably in the UK as well.
Ed M says, I got my leg fractured by a horse when I was 10, and I still love horses. Get over it. Well, you chose to ride that horse, didn't you? You were fucking with the horse. I didn't want nothing to do with the damn bird. I was trying to eat a sandwich and enjoy nature's waves and shit. But, nah, it's neither here nor there. I like horses. Look, I don't hate all birds, but I'd sooner feed a pigeon than I would a seagull.
Yeah, what's wrong with pigeons? They're cool.
A lot of people call them the rats of the air because in New York they get quite like you could find a pigeon like this in New York. You could find a pigeon this big in New York, the size of a ball. So anyway, speaking of 15, João Pedro, who scored twice.
Here's one point, just while we're on the subject. If you could get your hands on a seagull, how big a ball do you think you could crush it into?
I would say like a can, like the size of a can.
Yeah,
probably about like the size of like a 12-ounce can, one of those.
Yeah,
I imagine you can get it pretty small, but yeah. Speaking of crunching it into a can and the number 15, João Pedro is not going to be playing for Brighton. Do you like that segue? Was that pretty good? Just don't Google João Pedro 15. Just don't. But look, he had a brace on us, and then he did that fucking celebration that I haven't forgotten yet, because I was trying to segue from never forgetting, like forgiving, but I don't forget. And I don't forget that João Pedro 15 did the whole 4 when they went up 4-0. He did the 4, and he did the like. Do you remember that? He's like 4-4.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait till fucking Cootie gets a hold of you, you little bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
This little tiny fucker running all over Emerson. What a bully. But
yeah, I agree. There's a few people you want to save Cutie for, isn't there? And the other
Matty
one,
Cash, João Pedro, Neil Maupay. If I could get him one more time, I would do that one too.
yeah, I think so. Although him just losing is quite fun as well.
That is true. That is true. But I'm wondering just where Brighton are actually going to be threatening to us. Do you think that there's something that Brighton has done as of late? Like, they had an impressive win, and I think in their last 5, they were actually like doing really bad. I think it was just like their last 2 games that they were. Out of the last 5, they lost 1, drew, lost, win. Let me go ahead and look. Let's look into them a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the danger with them for me is just they have that kind of passing game where if they're on form and it all clicks together nicely, they can just tire you out just keeping possession of the ball, swiftly moving it around. You start chasing shadows, getting worn out. That can be quite damaging for a team like ours who does an aggressive press. If the aggressive press isn't working, and you're working that hard to really get no purchase in the game, then they can start picking you off as you start tiring out. So we've got to be a little bit mindful of that. I think I've said this in many streams as well. Pascal Gross for me is just fantastic.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah,
he's just everything they seem to do goes through him. He
dominates on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
A really great admirer of him. In fact, I wish he was like sort of 10 years younger and would slap in a bid for him. But I think he's about 32 now or something. So he's been a great servant for them. Very underrated as well. I think you have to really appreciate what they're doing in their style of play to see just how good he is at it. But they're missing a few now for sure. Mitoma, perhaps he's back. I've
heard mixed reports that he's back. I've also heard that Mitoma's not good to go yet.
Yeah, maybe.
The only one that I've seen confirmed out is Zhao 15. Let me see. I'm about to just do a Twitter search of Mitoma and see what the latest is. No, I don't see anything about Mitoma other than like just shit talking and fucking potential copyright strikes. Mitoma, Tottenham. Let's see if that search changes anything. No. Oh, wait. Andrea Maldera, Brighton assistant manager, confirmed João Pedro is unavailable. We knew that. He also said it's unknown whether. Very nice. So I found something on it, but it says, guess what? We don't know. Nobody knows.
That's really helpful bit of reporting there.
I really appreciate that. Ryan Adset says we don't know. We really don't know if Mitoma's going to be on the bench or in the starting lineup. But at least it sounds like he's available to be available. That sounds nice, right there, Kuva? He's available to be available.
Yeah.
Mitoma could potentially make us pay. I see Ronnie also says they said Mitoma will be on the bench. For you, does it matter if Mitoma plays or not? Is that going to be indicative of what happens tomorrow?
I think with him, you just have to remember he had that patch of form last season where he was just outstanding. I think we were all saying, wow, we've got to get this player, even if it costs a fortune. He kind of fell off the map there. It's a kind of loss of form and injury. And, what's he going to be like when he comes back? No idea. This is it. I find Brighton incredibly unpredictable because they can turn you over easily. They can also be on the end of an absolute thrashing.
I was pulling up their form because I was trying to remember. I was like, I could have sworn they had a result that I was like, wow, that's very poor. But if you see right underneath Kuva, those greens are wins. And this is their European ball. They beat 1-0 Olympique Marseille, lost 2-0 to Arsenal, drew with Palace, beat us comprehensively, drew with West Ham, comprehensively beat Stoke, drew with Wolves, beat Sheffield, lost to Luton 4-0. And this is where I think my recency bias as far as how I was viewing them got skewed because I saw 4-0 to Luton Town and was like, oh, clearly they're shit. But I don't think that that's the case. I think Luton are just on a mad one this year. And I hope that they can stay up and fuck whoever else goes down. I hope it's Brentford because of Neil Maupay, the pussy. I hate Neil Maupay so much. That's another one. I can't wait for Romero to play him again because he's not going to go to a team. Like, he may stay in the Premier League next season, even if it ain't for Brentford, but it's going to be some he'll probably be Crystal Palace or something because that's the type of clubs he attracts. The absolute bozo thought he could make fun of James Maddison. Then he's making fun of Kyle Walker's kids. Bro, talk about him cheating on his wife, that's fine, but don't bring a fucking kid into it. You know who didn't ask to be a child out of wedlock or whatever? That child. So I think children is over the line. Is there a limit to trash talk, Kuva, for you? Do you think there's a line that you don't cross, even if you don't like the fucker?
Yeah, there's always a line. I mean, unless it's the biggest crime, as far as I'm concerned, with trash talk, is if it's not funny. So if it's not funny, it's just insulting, isn't it? I mean, make it funny always. I'm talking of which, the Royal Arsenal, he's dishing a few out tonight. He said I'm 27 years old, which I like that. That's not really much of an insult, mate. That's a massive compliment.
I see it. Kuva, you're 27 years old and never seen Spurs win a league. Kuva, I'm older than you are.
I didn't know that. Oh, earlier he said I've only seen one league cup, win one league cup. I've seen 3 FA Cups, a couple of League Cups, UEFA Cup win. Also seen us being in as many Champions League finals as Arsenal have. Funny that one, isn't it?
Oh, very good point there, Kuva. But let's just keep that under wraps. You know, because they're playing Champions League this year. They ain't had it in 4 years, so they're feeling pretty good about it. How long has it been since they played in the Champions? Because it was like Arteta. They finished eighth and fifth, and then they got champion. So it's been a while. I understand. But yeah, it's fuck Neil Maupay every single day. Talking about kids, that's below the belt. Talk about his mistress, sure, you know, because that's a man's indiscretions. You can jab at that. I think that I'm not soft in the sense that you can't do that. He says you're born in 1999. Calm down, Kuva.
Well, that would make me 25 then, wouldn't it?
The Royal Arsenal didn't say it was.
Bad. Your maths is even worse. Good job.
Phil says it's because of the 99 in your name. Maybe that's why he thinks you were born in 1999. I don't know. Anyway, moving along. Look, I'm looking at this form. Brighton, I don't think they're as bad as my recency bias told me, just because they drew Wolves and they lost to Luton. I don't know. Does their form change your opinion on the way things may go tomorrow, Kuva?
Well, they do say you're only as good as your last game, so I suppose you could look at it that way. Recent history, they've been very up and down, Brighton. I think they're possibly more inconsistent than they've usually been in the last few seasons. Maybe all those big name sales that they've made finally starting to catch up with them, because when they do have a few people missing, they haven't got the experience in the ones coming in. They've got very talented youngsters come through, but they might not be, completely ready for a few years yet. So I think it's very difficult to predict Brighton. Like I said, if they turn up and their passing game's on form, they can rip you apart. They can make you chase shadows for 90 minutes. No problem. The question is, are they going to put them away? Are they going to put the chances away? Maybe not. And they're always, like us, they're always open to conceding a goal or two. So I think it could make for a really exciting game. Who wants it the most, maybe? That's what it comes down to. I think the fact that what are Brighton like away compared to at home? Not entirely different to pick them at the moment. I really cannot call it. Like I said, hardest game to call in the league, this one, because Brighton, you just don't know what you're getting. Liverpool and City, you always know there's a standard they'll set, but are they gonna quite meet that? Brighton are wildly inconsistent. Some of the beating.
Their away form, they have a -7 goal differential in their away form.
Yeah, so
their home form a little bit better. They have a +11 in their home form.
It's quite a contrast, really, isn't it?
That is quite a contrast. Yes, I would agree there. Quite a contrast there, Kuva. Maybe that is where it is. We can catch them out because they're not as clinical away on the road. I would also argue the little bastard João Pedro ain't playing, so that's kind of fun. That's kind of nice. That little. Not gonna mention why I call him João Pedro 15, but you can just Google that, and you can find out why I call him that. But look, for me, Kuva, I agree with you in the sense you were talking about Pascal Gross. And that is a guy, I mean, even just looking at how he bossed us last match, he was the best player on the pitch according to SofaScore, or next to João Pedro, but João Pedro, it's because I think he scored 2 and got 2 assists or some shit. Pascal Gross, for me, he may be an old bastard, but he's a damn good old bastard.
Yeah,
and Jared Milner on the day, he looked like he was fucking 25. He was bobbing and weaving, all that space, because Pedro Porro, doesn't matter if Emerson Royale's our center half or not, or Christian Romero, he's going to allow all that space in there behind. And Jared Milner just ran amok through it. João Pedro had his way with it.
Who are you talking about?
James Milner. Fuck, I always call him Jared.
I love it when you go these random names for players. That's great.
James Milner. Why do I keep calling him Jared? Worthington Milner. No, James Milner. I don't know why I always call him Jared Milner. He looks like a Jared in the face.
He's getting on a bit. He's been around for a while, but he's still quality. It's the same as old Jimmy Welbeck up front for them, isn't it?
I hate that Johnny Welbeck guy up front. I think he's absolute butt cheeks. Also, Jack Hinchelwood. I remember that name because he pissed me off. We should not be conceding a goal to Jack Hinchelmeyer. That's another name I remember. This fucking Hinklewood. This bastard, man. I think he scored the first one. I remember being very pissed at that name. Kuva. Igor, also, he's like the most clunky fullback ever, was fucking just running up and down that side. I don't know if that's look, Brennan Johnson defensively didn't do much to help us in that match either. I thought we were just so poor. But surely the results got to be different tomorrow because our lineup's completely different, right, Kuva? Or are you worried about the Hinklewoods and the Pascal Gross and Jared Milner?
I think Hinchelwood's a really good player. I wouldn't mind him at the club. We look at the difference in the teams. Let's face it, we talked about it right at the start of the show. Van der Ven and Romero there at centre backs. Compare that to Ben Davis and Emerson Royale. There you go. That's confidence straight away for you.
That's a good point.
We're just a different animal now. No problem. We didn't really hit the heights against Everton, despite the fact they were there. But Everton are pretty awkward, especially at home, and they found ways to get at us. We didn't really perform all that well. Still come away with a couple of goals and getting the point. But I think at home against Brighton right now, I don't see why we don't win this quite comfortably. I think we can turn around that 4-2 defeat quite comfortably. I really do. But, as said, I just don't know with Brighton. They're so wild with the differences in their performances. If they turn up, if it's a bad Brighton turns up, we could smack 6 or 7 past them. If it's the good version turns up, we barely get a kick at times. So take your pick. I've got to believe we have got enough quality. And we've got home support, and as soon as the noise levels go up, we're going to blow them away. That's going to be what.
I was watching the highlights to this match last time we played them, and this is all I could think of when I was watching those highlights.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I just really bamboozled. It just when we get dominated like that, that was for me a moment in the season where I was like, wow, we just got fucking ran through by those bastard of seagulls. They're not a flock of seagulls. It's a bastard of seagulls. It's a fucking asshole conglomeration of bastards that make a flock of seagulls. So it's no longer a flock. But the flock did flock on that flocking day. And honestly, I want to forget it, but usually in preparation for a match, I say, how did they look last time we played them? And I'm watching those highlights, and I'm just like, ew. Like, I literally just feel, ew, what is this? Like, is it? And I talked about this yesterday in extensive ad nauseum, and I referenced a video from Paul, the Hotspur hippie, in regards to our playstyle. And Ange Postecoglou kind of spoke on it today as well, and I'll share that here. And it was about us, conceding late goals. Game management was kind of the theme, right? And I was talking about, like, our inability to see out games in the most recent example of that obviously being Everton. But Postecoglou says, look, it's disappointing to concede goals at any point. People will want to analyze it. I'm sorry, but we're going to be a team that will score or concede goals late. The way we want to close out games is by trying to score goals late on. One thing we're not going to do is jump at shadows and try to fix the latest thing that is being analyzed. And for me, Kuva, this solidified and validated all the things that Hotspur Hippie was saying, therefore validating the way that I felt about hearing Hotspur Hippie say those things, which is, this is how we're going to fucking play. You either like it, love it, or hate it. But regardless of how you feel about it, what you analyze from it, we're not going to stop playing the way we want to play. And heads up, I'm sorry. Like he said, I'm sorry. Because I felt the same way. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm sorry if you think that we're supposed to. Now, there are instances where I'm highly critical. Like, I need Brian Hill in the 87th minute versus Everton to just make a correct pass. And I think it's their decision making. It's not necessarily our system and the way that we set up and the fact that we're always going for it. But Brian Hill wasn't going for the goal when he had the ball here. And then 7 yards there was a defender. 10 yards this way was a midfielder. And he just hoofs it to the back line. And he passes it to nobody but Everton players. To me, that's not going for it. That's just Brian Hill being fucking stupid. And I want to ask you, Kuva, how much of this is our inability to appropriately play the Ainge style yet? Because we're still in the fucking prepubescent era of this build with Ainge. Is it Ainge being naive, as some fucking people say, some fucking clueless people say, Ainge being naive, unable to see out a game? Or is it these players not yet, through the 100% of a match, being able to coherently and cohesively implement the plan that Ainge has?
We're calling him naive. Basically, the same as calling him stupid, isn't it? Like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's been a manager for a long time now. He has proved himself in other countries. He's come here. He knows what he's doing. Its players need to get used to this style of play. It's going to take time. It has to become, almost muscle memory what they're doing with the ball. It doesn't happen overnight. We could be a couple of years before we see it on a regular basis for 90 minutes in a match, playing the way he wants us to play. The fact we've been seeing glimpses of it already is great. The fact we're finding a way to get some decent results in the meantime is great. So it's a little bit of individual sloppiness, a little bit of misunderstandings with teammates, but at the end of the day, you stick with it. And I will say that, especially when, in terms of, you look at how we were at the start of the season when we were missing the likes of Romero, Van der Ven. We're playing with Emerson Royale, Davis, and we're trying to play out from the back, and how bad we were at it, how absolutely shocking we were at it. Now look at when we play out from the back, we're a lot better. It's not perfect, but we're getting far, far better at it, more accomplished. And you just keep at it. If something isn't working, you don't just instantly throw it all away and say, oh, well, plan B, plan A didn't work. This is where you just keep going at it and saying, improve, get better at what you're doing. If the attacking play isn't working well enough, do it better. Go away, keep with the plan, practice more. If you're failing to hit the target a lot in matches, stay behind in on training sessions, stay after, keep practicing, have some shooting practice. Likes of Frank Lampard used to do that all the time at West Ham. I remember Harry Redknapp saying how he would stay hours after everybody else has left, and he was practicing his free kicks and just finishing, and it do it constantly. This is what a consummate professional should be doing. If our team is not performing the way it should be, they need to keep practicing at it and do it better and better and better. Some of it's individual skills which they can work on in their own time. The rest of it, they just got to be given time to adapt to it and be shown the confidence to let them play. And that's going to be the real key. I think if Ange listens to half the fans, then he'd never have a style of play in the first place, because it'd be panic changes at the drop of a hat with anything.
Yeah, imagine if we were doing what Pochettino's doing. He tried to show his style of play. Everyone bitched, so he changed it. And then he started dropping results. They bitched again, so he changed it again. And then they said, well, we don't know how we feel about this now, so he changed it again. And the man is just shuffling. And Ten Hag, same exact thing. First year, he plays his brand of football, wins him a trophy, gets top 4. Second year, he's like, I'm not trying to play my Ten Hag way. I'm not trying to play the Ajax way. I'm trying to play Manchester United way. Changes how he plays, and now they're fucking ass. And now, like I see the football corner here saying sometimes don't keep pressing. To me, fuck that. Always go for the goal. I like the mentality of it don't matter where we're at. It don't matter what the scoreline is. We're going to play the same way, and we're going to keep coming at you, and we're going to keep trying to score goals. And he says this here. Sometimes we're going to concede, and sometimes we're going to be the one scoring. But that's part of the thing. And once this is all firing right, I think it can be an actually lethal system. The thing is, we just haven't got it tweaked and perfected right, because we barely even had the fucking first team together for enough time. Big up Nate Pie, and big up the entire Pie family as well. Reminding everyone that there is a new membership level. Per Nate's suggestion, I put a membership level in between Lover's Lane and the 10-inch club. It's the Talk to Me Nicely club, and it's just in between. So yeah, but big up Nate. I appreciate you plugging that. But look, what is this? It's not the system, it's the sloppiness, as Tottenham. The system is so finely tuned that any giving the ball away with no need undermines and creates huge problems. I think we saw that very much versus Brentford. Both of their goals were from really bad giveaways. Real quick, shameless plug. Tomorrow, doing a watch along for the show. Read my other message, you fraud. Let me see. What did he say? He says, as good as Richarlison has been goals-wise, he doesn't suit Ainge's system for a striker. But Ainge just needs to know sometimes you need to manage the game on the pitch. I feel like he just said a whole lot without saying a whole lot, if you know what I mean. Sod? I would pull it up, but I can't pull up comments for some reason because my StreamYard's fucked up. But I do have this for you, Sod. Full screen, let me see it.
Bro,
say that again with your chest.
League, I believe my gaffer, he will win this league for me.
What happens if he doesn't? What happens?
He believes his gaffer. He believes he's going to win the league. So we all believe in things. Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, them kinds of things. But cool, man. I believe my gaffer. He says, there you are. No, there you were. He had that fresh trim, Kuva, and he acts different when he gets that haircut and he's lined up all nice. He acts different. So his tone changes. 1 week he believes his gaffa, the next minute we need major investment until we can really challenge and push on. Never see you in his chats or you blog. Who are you talking about? Oh, I think he's talking to the Arsenal fan there. Kuva's profile picture is not an owl, it's a cat. Kuva, can you show him your picture real quick? The Arsenal thinks that's an owl. That looks like a
An
cat.
owl
Last
with
time I
wrist-
checked, owls don't have fucking ears.
Well, they do.
Well, not like that. The pointy triangle ones is what I mean.
Yeah, they do. They can have them as well, but they certainly don't have
Really?
whiskers.
Okay, I'm not about to Google owl ears though. I might. Okay, I'm going to. Because I'm not saying you're wrong, Kuva, but I'm just saying. Why did I type Kuva? I need to type owl ears.
Depends on the owl. Same with cats. Same with dogs. There's all sorts of different types.
Oh, yep. See this one right here. He kind of has ears like that. So you know what? I take it back. I could see why he mistake it. The whiskers though, that's a small touch.
And owls
Ears.
don't.
I didn't
absolutely-
realize owls have fucking ears like a dog. That's weird.
Well, not all.
Anyway.
Some of them got very, very tiny ears, barely visible.
Oh, that's very interesting.
There we go. Anyway, that's
That's very
also
nice.
owls
Yeah, see-
don't owls rarely taper into a sort of neck area. It looks more like a sort of like one of those Russian doll things. You know the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where you
ones.
take them.
So it's kind of
I
a
know what you're
thick.
talking about.
Oh, I mustn't say Russia on YouTube, must we?
I don't know. Maybe it would generate more clicks if you say Russia.
Probably get banned.
You think we'll get banned for saying Russia?
Well, everything to do with it's being censored, isn't it?
You know, it's funny. You can't even curse in super chats. I found out. If you try to send a super chat and you say like, "Fuck Neil Maupay, he's a bitch," you can't. It won't let you send it. How does it
Really?
know in real time I'm saying "fuck you, you bitch"? How does it know? What is going on here? This is America. At least my fucking GPS location says so. But I'm not allowed to say "fuck that bitch," apparently, in a chat. Even if I pay to say it, I can't say it. What kind of? Well, I don't know. I'm not meaning to do this. I'm not meaning to do it. But I do have love for owls. Those are good birds.
It's an entirely different show if we start going off on politics, I suppose, because
This is
got off
very
at rant
true.
for hours.
This is very true. I see Saad's comment. He's like, I was trying to give you constructive criticism and you see it as an attack. Look, Saad, you know, sometimes when you go into nature, you're like, oh, that's a cute, fluffy animal. Turns out he's a fucking bear. All right. You try petting the cute, fluffy animal, you fucking pet a bear. And that's, yeah.
I like the way I said you took it as hostile attack and then you fraud at the end just to make sure it is a hostile attack.
Yeah, exactly. Hold that, you fucking fraud. That's what I would say to the highest degree. I believe my gaffer. That's my favorite line.
I
my gaffer.
really respect your opinion, my friend, you fraud.
I really respect your opinion, but you're also a disgrace.
It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace.
That's also for you. It's embarrassing.
Do you think he's managed to chew that bit of meat he had yet?
I bet it's still stuck in between his teeth. He don't strike me as a flosser.
No, probably not. He's probably just got I don't know. He doesn't strike me as somebody that eats anything. They probably just like plug him in to recharge.
He just sits there like this.
If he just replace his head with a different Lego piece.
Oh, that guy. You know, some people said if he goes to Barcelona, he's going to win him the league. I don't really rate him that much as a manager. I feel like when grown men are in a room and they hear this guy in the middle being like, let's fucking go, guys. Let's fucking go. I don't really get like, you know? Nah, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
There's a light bulb.
Look, I drew a light bulb. And when the light bulb's on, you can see more than when the light bulb is off. You understand? So be the light bulb, Kuva, that illuminates the room so others around you can work better. And if we have 11 fucking light bulbs, guys, and we're all together, guys, as a fucking light bulb, we can be bright.
You sound more like the Godfather there. I like it.
Let's fucking go, guys. These light bulbs together, we are the light bulb. And I got a fucking dog. And I think, you know what? That's great. You saved one dog from being put down at the pound. And that's... Why don't you do more? If you can adopt one, why not adopt 10? Why not save the shelter? I don't know. But that's just me. Let's fucking go, guys. Look, it is... Oh, I'm thinking about goofy ass Arteta. They did a whole all for nothing for that guy. Ain't that crazy? They were like, bro, we got they all or nothing. They like to do this. So when there's a compelling story, Amazon then sends out their documentary team to make sure they capture all the ins and outs, because it's like, this is going to be a really vital part in their history. It could be transformative. And then they grab onto that club and they're like, before the season starts, hey, we're going to follow you around in the off season and in the season. And then we're going to make a little series about you. And like for Tottenham, we did that when we were changing from Pochettino to Jose Mourinho. And in other sports, they've done it when there's been changes of power or preceded by chances of success for that club, because they want to document it. They want to have it all documented. So it makes sense. And I remember when I was working for the Cowboys at the time when Amazon came and did All or Nothing for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm just going to say, you do see my face and hair throughout the series because, I mean, not like I'm featured, but I am in the background of some shots there, Kuva. So I'm quite famous if you didn't know. But I saw how it affected the club from the inside. Because everyone just starts acting a little different. When you know there's cameras watching and it's not just us hanging out, there's other people watching. And I just wonder, like, how much of that could have taken away from Arteta's credibility. Because I think from his perspective, he's going to be, here's a fucking light bulb, guys. Be a light bulb. Like,
Well, even
I don't think anyone would come up with that if they're fucking camera. Well, it doesn't even make sense. I wouldn't even say that shit on YouTube. And I say a lot of shit on YouTube.
I wouldn't even say that if I was selling light bulbs door to door. No, the biggest point of the lot though is, they're making a series called All or Nothing. Go for Pep Guardiola, yes, because he's won truckloads of trophies. Go for Jose Mourinho because he's won truckloads of trophies. Could have failed at us, but I mean, we all knew that was going to happen anyway. But of course, you're following Jose Mourinho. You could go with Ancelotti, who wins truckloads of trophies. Loads you could pick. But Arteta, what's he done? He's, scraped over. Well, okay, he got an FA Cup in his first season, didn't he? Fair enough. I
was thinking, my assumption was, I expected them to think that Arteta could be like in his make or break year, and that either he was going to make it or they were going to sack him. That's what I think that their outlook was for that, and like why they select him. Because whether I like to admit it or not, Arsenal are the like fourth most supported in the United States. Not number one, by the way, that's Tottenham. But they're like number 4 in regards to how many official supporters clubs that they have. So hold that sod, you absolute fraud. You can make top 4 in that regard.
Did they do one for Klopp at Liverpool?
No. I've heard that they might be doing that allegedly they're doing it this year, but I don't think that's true.
Right. I think it can't work. It's something to do with all the Ventolin and inhalers stop the cameras working.
Hey, can y'all pause the camera? And the thing is, a lot of it is as agreed to. If you notice, there was like a whole episode of just Levy PR in one of those All or Nothing Tottenham episodes. I think it's part of the deal with the club, like that there is some editorial jurisdiction that the club retains over the final product of these episodes. There is a conspiracy theory that we sacked Pochettino because his English wasn't as good for the documentary, and that Levy thought it would be better to get a Jose Mourinho in for the documentary. But that's just a conspiracy theory. Not saying it's true. Just saying it's a conspiracy. And that I sometimes believe a lot of conspiracies are true because they're fun.
Yeah, I mean, what you can understand it with a few other clubs. I mean, Man City, they won't care who they let in because they're just going to win things anyway.
Yeah, and they did do that,
and they did anyway. But with
Yeah,
us, who's
fuckers.
it really for the benefit of? Going with the conspiracy theory. It's a good opportunity for the chairman to be, hey, call me Dan. I'm cool. People love me. It's like,
And then
'cause
they did that whole section where he's like, let's look at the numbers. Oh, 157 million profit this year. Very nice. Let's see if we can double that. It's like, what the fuck? I hated that episode. It was just like following Daniel around as he's like, people think all I do is care about money. And then they proceed to show his job just caring about money. It's really interesting. Just like it's like, whenever you're younger and you're about to have guests over and your mom's like fucking smacking everybody, cleaning the house, like, you're a piece of shit, clean your room, and we have guests coming over and then guests arrive. We're such a loving family here. Look at everyone.
Yeah.
Look at all these. We're so perfectly put together. Isn't that right, kids? Yes. Yeah, they're all just nodding. Yes, we're all so behaved.
And from the
Meanwhile,
inside of his jacket pocket, there's a brochure about a new yacht and things like that.
yeah. He's like, oh, edit that part out for me, please. But look, we are at an hour 45, and I've only asked a couple times, but this is a friendly reminder. There's over 120 people across all three platforms. Do me a favor, hit a like, hit a subscribe. If you're on YouTube, what are you doing? If you ain't liked and subscribed, let me see how many votes there are. 155 votes in the poll. And if I refresh Kuva and we're not over 100 likes, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm refreshing right now. We are at 88 likes. We've had over 120 people for majority of the show, and we can't even get over 100 likes. I don't know what we're doing. I can see it from, if these Arsenal fans that they just come here and they wait for me to say something silly so they can clip it up and send it to their overlords. And that's fine. But at least hit the like, man. I'm providing you with free content. It's absolutely free to hit a like. And you know what? You hit a like, and inside, it just makes everybody feel better.
You must have had a great view of that.
Wow, unbelievable from the back. Yeah.
Unbelievable from the back, indeed. Bakuva, before we keep going, this is the part of the show, being that it is the preview show. The preview show. It is the time where I ask you, my friend, the score prediction and the goal scores for tomorrow. And I know you said it about an hour and a half ago, but I'm going to pretend like you didn't, because this is also going to give the guests and the viewers a chance to let me know theirs. And I will read it out. I will read everybody's out. I can't obviously pull them up because I can't see them on StreamYard, but I will mention them. And before we do that, while all of you get your predictions into the chat, I see my man Chang has gifted 5 United Spurs of America memberships. Big up Chang, my friend, my brethren. I can see this. Phil Coys, welcome. Welcome, my friend. Callum Roche, welcome. Ray Chrisley, Lose Chill Music, and Gary Ross. Big up to the 5 of you. Say dubs in the chat for Chang first and foremost. Big up to Chang. Really appreciate you. I'm blessing the chat today. Oh, so nicely. Thank you very much, my friend. Make sure y'all are getting your score predictions and your goal scores in the chat. I'm obviously going to throw it to Kuva next. But big up. Chang, I ain't seen you in the chat all day, and then you just dropping in. Splash. Here's a bunch of membos. I appreciate that. Bunch of membos. Get a bunch of membos. Appreciate Chang. That shit means something to me, Chang.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
I love that last one. This shit means something to me, man. I love the emphasis. And that's how it feels every time y'all gift memberships. That shit means something to me, man. Bakuva, my friend, what is your score prediction for tomorrow? Who's scoring these goals? How is tomorrow shaken and bacon, my friend?
Well, you know me. I've said it earlier as well. It's just going to be a 7-3 win because it's going to happen one day. and my pound bet each time is going to pay off once. So I'm just going for it. I just think there's going to be loads of goals. So I'm not. Why should I rule out a 7-3? Something outrageous. Nobody goes for that kind of score prediction, so that's why I like going for it. I like betting for the outsider. So
it's definitely an outside
7-3
bet.
win. 7-3 win. I'm going a couple of goals for Sonny, couple of goals for Richarlison, hat trick for Madders. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Hey, I'm all about it. I love me some Madison getting a bunch of goals. You know, I would say if even one of every name that you just mentioned for your goal scorers, if one of them can get a goal each, I'll take it. But let's see what the chat is saying. Again, I can't pull up any chats that aren't starred for whatever reason. I can't see them on the live section here. But I have them pulled up.
Sorry, quickly. To be fair, if I was going for a more sensible prediction, I'd still go for a 4-3 win. I really do think there's going to be a load of goals. So going 4-3 to 7-3 isn't that big a jump.
Well, what do you think of this notion where people say, "Oh, y'all concede a lot of goals, therefore your defense must not be very good"? What do you think of that?
It's actually pretty decent for the way we play.
That's what I said.
We just
And
throw
most of them
everybody
goals
forward.
conceded too. Some of the, there was a good stretch there where we didn't have Mickey Van de Veen or Christian Romero. We even started Dyer. Let's not forget Dyer started this year.
No. Come on. I've eaten recently.
I'll just say he did. He definitely did. We'll see. Honestly, for me, I'm not going to give you my answer just yet. I'm going to go to the chat first, but I'll give you my answer. I'm feeling good. I'm doing a watch along tomorrow. So hopefully everyone who's here right now, there's 120 of y'all. If 120 of y'all come back for the watch along, they'll be absolutely immaculate. I will be on Weird Tottenham TV for the pre-match pump up. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'll be doing the watch along live on the channel about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before kickoff. Kuva, if you want to come join at halftime, I'm putting together a little halftime party. Last time I did this, I had Chang. So Chang, if you're watching, join the halftime show, my friend. You're part of the halftime crew. Colin with Talking Balls, part of the halftime crew. We had Phil Coys. I'm going to drop him the link because you know what? Fuck it. Who don't want to see Phil Coys at halftime? And Kuva, if you want to join this little soiree of bamboozling gentlemen, as I like to call it.
It's possible.
No pressure. Except without you, I'm going to delete the channel. So if you don't show up tomorrow, going to delete the channel. Okay. No pressure, though, my friend.
Knowing everyone.
Let's see what the chat's saying right now.
It depends if I can get a reliable stream, mate. I'll put it that way.
Oh, you don't? I was going to say, just join the Discord. But then I was like, Kuva's definitely not going to join the Discord because I don't even understand Discord completely. It's...
I've got Discord. I mean, yeah, I use it for gaming mostly.
Yeah, so in there, I can share my stream of the game with you, and you can watch it, and we can literally watch the same stream and be synced up.
Dare I introduce you to my stream, my Discord associates? No, of course not.
Well, no, you just join my server.
I know.
Yeah. I don't really understand how it completely works, Discord. It makes me feel old because everyone uses Discord for this, that, and the other. But big up Zapur, who actually runs that, which I don't need the stream technically. I see his comment says, do you need the stream again? I don't. Technically, I don't because it's on Peacock. When it's on NBC or USA is when I do need it. But for whatever fucking reason, they're the same fucking broadcaster. And if you pay for Peacock, you apparently don't get USA. To get USA, you have to pay for like some kind of monthly TV plan, some kind of fucking bullshit. So don't get me started. But basically, tomorrow I'm going to have it on Peacock, so I should be okay. But let's see what the chat's predictions are for the goal score. I see Tottenham away supporter says 5-0 Coys. Adam Phillip with a 4-1 Spurs. Royal Arsenal says 100 goals to Brighton. Very interesting game that. FC Tottenham Hotspur from Thailand. Big up all the friends out there in Thailand. Big shout out. Scott M says 3-1 to Brighton. Very nice. AJ says, I need a 5-0 to Spurs. I need it too, my friend. Zapur's got a 5-2. There's a Son hat trick in there somewhere. And I like that. I would love to see this times 3. I'm going to be screaming tomorrow. Plus, the family will be awake. Like, bro, so when we played Everton, Kuva, I started the stream at 5:15 in the morning. It was 5:15 in the morning when I started the stream. So I was like, yes, Richarlison, you motherfucker. Yes, what a goal. Get the fuck in. And I was like, I had to whisper my celebrations. But this is at 8 a.m. So the family will be awake and they're going to be annoyed. So that's very fun. Ash P. If you want to join halftime as well, Ash P, let me know. It says 3-2 Spurs, Sonny, Richie, Madison. I like that little trio. And Richarlison keeps his goal scoring form. How nice. Big up Chang. Yanis Rubelis got a 4-2. Come on, you Spurs. Love to see that. Lee Smithy Smith, 3-1 Richie hat trick. Very nice prediction there. Richie hat trick. Wow. If Richie gets a hat trick,
that'll be nice.
Richie gets a hat trick.
Can you imagine it? 12 goals in 9 games all of a sudden. That's like Haaland sort of territory.
I ain't saying watch out Erling Haaland, but I would say watch out Erling Haaland, baby. Here we come. To the moon, baby. To the stars. If he gets a hat trick, I don't think so, but if he does, talk to me nicely. Hey, look.
Why not?
No, look. The comments are back. My whole screen just blinked, and now the comments are back. That's pretty sick. Ed M's got a 3-2. Flick a coin which way. Let me see if I can scroll up. No. This is the first one I see is Yanis Rubelis.
I've just realised I shouldn't be going for a 7-3, should I? Remember I was doing the shirt numbers thing and it was working.
Oh yeah, you did 1-3 as a prediction.
So
and you did get that.
How about if we go for, I don't know, let's think, what's Timo Werner's number? 16, is he?
16. Yeah, he's number 16.
So we'll go for a 6-1 win.
6-1 win. Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know what? I like Kuva's shirt predictions. Those are nice. Big up to Chang every single time. Adam Phillips says 4-1 Son, Richie 2, and Poro. Like to see that. Machiavelli says, I can see a 5-1, not going to lie. Them Seagulls going to get done dirty. You got to grab those fucking bastards, I swear. Nate Pie's got a 4-2 Spurs. Richie Brace, very nice. Drula's 4-1. Richie Brace, Son, and Madison. Richie with a 3-3. I could see a 3-3 as well. Chang's got a 2-1 scrappy home win. Same first half. Richarlison in the second half. Adam Phillips says, watch, it's going to be 0-0 because everyone's predicting goals. Might be true. 4-2, Daniel Field. Phil Coy's got 4-3. Werner Brace, Madison free kick, and a Udogi goal. Bro, if Werner scores and Madison scores a free kick in the first half, Phil, you better join the halftime show. That's all I'm going to say because you're going to be spitting facts again. Big up to Nita. Hello, Nita. Goals in this game, says Chat Sport, both scoring at least 2. David Calvino's got a 3-1 Spurs. Richie Son and Van de Veen. Milner with a screamer. Milner turning back the clock of time yet again to dunk on us. What a guy. Big up Ugly Fish says 4-2 sounds good. I like that. Yeah, Lee, you can join us at halftime too. We'll have a little fucking party. A little halftime party. A little fuck Usher in the Super Bowl. You know Usher is going to perform at the Super Bowl. Who cares about that? I'm talking about this halftime show. Yes, sir. I think that's all the predictions. 3-2 from Chat Sport for Spurs. Matoma is back. I repeat, 3-1 from Faz Radfar. El Tel Cocarel says 3-0 Spurs. Minimum scoreline with a fully functioning squad. Love to see that. Tot Nino says 5-1 SAR hat trick. That'd be crazy to see.
Wait, the Royal Arsenal's come out with another one worth responding to as well. They say my favourite game is Pong from the 60s. Well, yet again, Pong was created in the 70s. So not only is your insult still boring, it's still inaccurate. So try harder. I'll D- at the moment today, my friend.
Oh no. Big Adam Phillips says, wouldn't that mean 1-6 to Brighton? He's not 61.
Yeah,
No,
we'll reverse that at will.
Flip it and reverse it. Shout out Missy Elliott every single time. Big up Nita every single time. Nita says, are you vexed with me? Still chatting out old school I hold in all areas. Big up Nita, ever the poet. Sometimes I don't know what the hell she's saying, but she's spitting facts, and I like to see it. Big up Nita every single time. Foxy's got 3-1 Spurs or 3-1 Brighton. They are unpredictable. Mick Dundee all the way on Twitter says 3-1. Not who, just 3-1. Throw it out there. Internet guy, 4-2, Sonny hat trick with a bang. Like to see that. Drula with the mic drop. Beware the wrath of Kuva. Mick Dundee says Spurs 3-1. Come on, you Spurs. Donnelly's number 61. Is he? Let me see. Is he? Was he on the bench?
That's the trouble going with the shirt numbers predictions. There won't be too many.
He's number 63.
There won't be too many with a preferable scoreline if you go do it as the numbers appear. Otherwise, I'll be predicting losses almost every week.
Fraser Forster 2-0. That'd be nice. Dan Kulisevsky 2-1. All the rest, yeah, not good. That's Ben Davies would be a 3-3. Yeah, I like our way. Let's just fucking flip it. Who cares? My prediction, Kuva, however, I predicted a 2-2 draw on El Ahwa. And I did this for a tactical reason. So those of you who watch me on Hassam's channel, This Is Football, it was a tactical call, what I did. I am playing the board, not the match, if that makes sense. So for me, this way it's win-win. I think we will have enough to win on the day. I feel confident enough that regardless of who, if it's Basuma or Bentancur, if it's Kulisevsky or Brennan Johnson, I think that those little aspects there, Angel know what the best one is to go with. But I like that everybody is back. We have everyone that we could possibly have. That, to me, we got to go get the win. So for me, my prediction, I think it's going to be 4-2 opposite. We're going to pay them back the same way they paid us. We're going to get them 4-2. I don't think it'll be 4-0 and then they just allow 2 goals. I think it'll be a little back and forth and then we'll take control in the second half. That's my prediction. And I hope we don't. I mean, if we get our asses kicked, I may fucking end the watch along early. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? That's quite the fun there. But look, I do appreciate every single one. I almost clicked in the stream on accident because I was clicking the comments. But Donnelly's 63 apparently. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. The reason Kuva hates Arsenal is because he was alive when we came across the river.
No, I can think of many more reasons than that. I won't repeat them here, though.
Oh shit! Where'd it go? There it goes. Well, look, y'all, we've been on for over 2 hours now. I think that sufficiently is good for a score prediction. It is in the title, so obligatorily I am going to mention because I want it so badly to be true. Nico Williams, allegedly we are in the race to sign Nico Williams, a guy who I've touted for. I've been keeping a track on him for about 18 months, and I've loved every little bit of his game. He mostly started out on the right, and then this year he's kind of played out left for Bilbao, and he's been killing it. He helped them beat Barcelona in the Copa del Rey with a goal and an assist off of the bench, mind you. This guy is an absolute stud, and I would love to have him in the squad. But apparently there's us, Arsenal, Chelsea. There's a few people looking at him. So just throwing that out there. He comes from generational talent. Or excuse me. He comes from the gene pool of very talented people. His brother Inaki Williams, I think, broke the record of most consecutive games played without missing. I think it was like over 300 or 400 games, something like that. Crazy stat. So you know he's going to stay healthy. So there you go. It's in the title, and I didn't bring it
Brad
up.
Friedel having an awful lot of games without missing one as well.
I think it was for a forward or for an attacker. I think is what it was. I don't remember. He broke some kind of record for longevity. Basically, meaning he's a healthy motherfucker. And to me, that sounds like gravy.
Lucky as well. Lucky's a good quality to have.
Yeah. But you make your own luck, Kuva. And I'm riding with that theory
forever. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Joel Matip every single time. We created that. Oliver Skip getting a piggyback ride while Pedro Porro sliced one in there. That's creating your own luck. Mm-hmm.
You see, I prefer it the other way. If I'm playing pool or something and I fluke a ball in, I'll just go, meant that.
Yeah. Harry Wink style. Yeah, I meant that.
Yeah.
Definitely meant that. Real quick, big up Bobby K putting the link here for 3 Spurs Boys where you can find some more of Kuva. Do click this link and go subscribe. It will help. I'll also put it back in the description of this video. That way you can find it more easily as well. If you are on playback, make sure you go subscribe to 3 Spurs Boys. They actually did a football show yesterday, so that was quite fun. Very nice to see y'all branching out into new avenues, Kuva. Is there anything you want to plug on the channel before we go? You got something coming up?
Bobby K and I on 3 Spurs Boys, we're now talking about doing every Thursday, do a proper football show like we did last night, because we enjoyed it and people seem to enjoy us talking about it. So we might make that a regular thing now. Otherwise, it's going to be Ben's Coffee Shop on Wednesday for more brewing bollocks, and other than that, it will be next Friday night with and Kuv and the Kang with a lot more sillinesses. Back to our normal selves, where making lots of silly stories, many of them featuring versions of your good self, Jacob, as you'll well know, and Chewy, and sometimes Mamacita.
Oh, Rosita Mamacita, I believe is her name. Isn't it? Something like that. That's where you can find them. 3 Spurs Boys. There'll be some more shows that they got coming out. And Kuva, I also do want to say on a personal level, very glad that you are, at least now the stresses you have are getting the shoe of your home to fit now, as opposed to months ago, it was just sorting out getting the new pair of shoes. I'm glad you found the new shoes, and now it's time to break them in and get them fitting right. And I can't wait for you to get that. And I just want to say congratulations. I'm very proud of you for that's a hard step to take sometimes. And I'm glad that you're able to take it, my friend. And speaking of being able to take it, that's actually a really bad segue. I could have done better there. I absolutely could have done better there. But I want to say thank you so much to those of you who sponsored today's show. Catman Just using their membership chat. Zapur using their membership chat. David Shear gifting 5 United Spurs of America memberships. Big up. And then we had Dermot with a super chat as well. And big up Chang. That's 10 gifted United Spurs of America memberships today. That's, hey, y'all blessing me. Y'all blessing my family. So big ups for that. And thank you to those of you who do support the channel financially. And to those of you who don't support the channel financially, it's okay. And I still love you, because you know what you can do? Support this channel with actions. I see we've hit over 100 likes. Thank you so much. 101. So 101 of you beautiful fuckers, thank you so much. Here's some fireworks. Cue the... God dang it. Cue the fireworks. Fireworks. Yay.
There we go.
Oh, no. Come on. Fireworks.
As a matter of interest, what happens when you do this?
I think it opens up a new tab. Incognito.
Right, yeah.
It opens up an incognito browser is what it does. But thank you so much to those of you that I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say, Kuva, but I was trying to say thank you. That's what it was. To those of you that did like the video, because I already thanked those of you that did financially help the channel grow. But those of you that do the free 99, I'm a free 99 kind of guy. Hit a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let me go ahead and end this poll.
Staffy just coming in at the end there, just saying a big up to us.
Yeah, big up Staffy TV every single time. You can catch me there every Monday talking the most shit on American Waffle. We have fun there. And they can hold all the L's that I serve up. Man, I'm out there like Gordon Ramsay fucking just Guy Fieri talking about pull up to Flavortown, motherfucker, because I'm serving it. You can catch me. I am my most shameless. Staffy makes a fun point. He's like, you know what's weird? If I actually want to get Jacob to like talk ball and talk Tottenham and stuff, you tune into his channel because he'll talk a lot of sense. He's very calm. It's very like yada yada. But when I go on a different, I feel like different games call for different players. You know what I'm saying? And I consider myself a jack of all trades. You throw me in with the lion den, I will be the only fucking puma making out that bitch. You throw me in with the snakes, I am the snake charmer, motherfucker. So that's what I'm talking about. All right. And anytime I go over there, everybody talk to me nicely every single time. And if they don't, I make them. He says it's the best show on YouTube except after Staffy TV. And isn't that nice? Can't help but big up himself.
Hey, still top 2 from a rival channel, so that's still good.
Yeah. Hey, top 2 ever? All right, we'll take it. But look, I will be here live tomorrow before kickoff. Come kick it. Come hang out with the hangout now. All right? Come on over and hit a like on that as well. Which, by the way, I was like, maybe I should redirect and send y'all to the damn watch along. Huh? So y'all go like the video right now. But I was like, no, I want people to like the video when I'm doing it. So I'm just going to redirect. Let me see who's live real quick and see where we can send all you beautiful bastards. Staffy TV is absolutely in the mud. You can catch it every Monday when I mud him. I serve him up heaps of mud, and he just says, yum, yum, gobble, gobble. And it ain't even Thanksgiving. Imagine that. I'm going to send y'all on over to Bajan Reds. They're having a call-in show. I don't know if that's for members or not, but a call-in show might be nice. Any of y'all looking to call into a channel? There's some really good content creators on this side of the pond, the Bajan brothers, but they do some great stuff. I'm going to end that poll. 169 votes, 76% says Spurs will win. Yes, yes, yes. I love to see that. Yeah, big up Staffy TV every single time. You can always catch his channel in the description in the home page of this video or of this channel. You can find it there. But look, I can go on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to because my wife is texting me and she says I can't. So as much as I want to continue doing it, I gotta go. But whenever you get on over to Bajan Red, say Jacob Raid, say Jacob Takeover, say or Coys or Jacob Raid, whatever you want to say, both of those will work. But again, thank you to those of you that financially contributed, and thank you to those who did hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to me. That shit definitely means something to me. But look, y'all, that is going to do it for episode number 150. Hope to see y'all bright and early at this very destination for the watch along tomorrow. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to fucking beat the fucking... We're going to get these fucking seagulls. Fuck you, seagull. Here, you want some bread? Fuck you, seagull. Who you thought she was? Fuck you, seagull. That's the shit I'm on, all right? And I hope you on the same shit. If that's the shit you want to be on, get here tomorrow, all right? But make sure the next destination y'all go to, y'all say hi, Jacob Raid, and keep spreading the love, y'all. But until tomorrow, I need y'all to do a couple more favors, Kuva. I need y'all to stay blessed. I need you to stay fresh. I need you to up the lads. And come on, you Spurs.
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.